very pressing question which so many people want answer to. Who convinced you? Who was the one person that convinced you to move from Melbourne to Hobart?
Well, yeah, I mean that's a tricky question. I guess not one person convinced me, but there was quite a few factors. Obviously, like my partner was in Tassie at the time, so that was a big draw factor as well. But then having conversations with Salliann Beams, the Tassie coach at the time, and then that was pretty insightful to sort of see where the program was going and what sort of role I felt like I could play and where she sort of saw me fitting in. And then also as soon as I made the decision, Dominic Baker called me, the CEO, and then once he sort of called me, I felt like, oh yeah, that's definitely the right decision. I just sort of, so they're probably like the three biggest factors that drew me in. But I've really enjoyed it.
You talked about Salliann Beams. She has moved on to the bigger role in Cricket Tasmania. So in the WNCL also, she was the main person who led the team along with you to the WNCL victory. So how has her influence been on the Tasmanian team and on you also?
Yeah, I think the first thing that sort of sticks out from Sal is that just her passion. Her passion for the female program, wanting to get the best out of the athletes and wanting to, be able to help provide a sustainable environment where, individuals and team can have sustainable success. So, yeah, I would say that first and foremost, her passion for the game is pretty infectious. And she genuinely cares about, her people within the environment and trying to make the environment the best in the country.
How do you look at especially Dan Nash's contribution to this team?
Yeah, well, I think he's just really calm. So I feel like, he's very laid back, very calm, very measured, and very consistent. So, we know that cricket can be really inconsistent at times. There's plenty of highs and plenty of lows. And the fact that he just remains really consistent, really committed to our processes as a team, I think, that sort of rubs off on other people. And you just sort of know that, we've got these great plans in place. So just that belief and that backing from him and just sort of, maintaining a really level head, I think has been, really valuable to the group.
Also, how is that experience of leading the WBBL side of Hobart? You have a leadership experience. Otherwise, also, you led the Trent Rockets also in a few of the matches. So how it is different than leading this T20 side?
Well, I think the thing for me is that I'm really lucky in that I've worked with most of these people before. We've got a lot of crossover between the WNCL program and the WBBL program. So I think that that's, a real positive and something that probably gives us a slight advantage over other groups. And for me as captain, it's great to know that I've, already worked with most of these bowlers. And then, the people that we've gotten into to add value to that group have been really paramount as well. You've got the experience of Mignon Dupree and Hayley Jensen, and then the young talent of Ruth Johnston. So I just think that the people that we've got in the group make it a lot easier for me to lead, and we all seem to be on the same page, which is, I think, the most important thing in a team. We're very clear in how we want to get to our destination as a group, how those roles are for individuals, and most importantly, how our individual roles really contribute to the team plan. So, it's been really enjoyable. I haven't had to worry about too many things. The girls are, very driven and motivated, and everyone's on the same page, which is, extremely helpful as a captain.
What is the batter's perspective of the 100 format?
Yeah, well, I think it feels a little bit in fast forward when you first start playing the format. All of a sudden, one less ball per over feels like very significant. Like you're like, oh yeah, a couple of balls left, and then all of a sudden it's like over, and you're like, whoa, where did that over go? And then if they bowl a double over, it's like, oh my goodness. So you can kind of feel like that you're a little bit rushed at times. But it was like, I really enjoyed it. It was a little bit different. And I really enjoyed that. Tactically, there was some really cool things that, you could put in place. And to be honest, the atmosphere and the crowds were phenomenal to play in front of. yeah, I found it a very enjoyable experience. To play in front of that many people in a domestic competition was pretty unbelievable.
Also, you played with Nat Sever and Catherine Bunt at the Melbourne Stars. To know that, okay, these two players, these swashbuckling players are on my side in the 100 also. And we saw what Nat Sever's brilliant performance was against the Southern Braves. So how is it like to know that these two are on your side?
Yeah, very relieving at the start, that's for sure. You know, to have two destructive players on your side in a short format cricket game is really valuable to have two all-rounders. So, yeah, and you know, they're great people, as you mentioned. I've known them for a few years and managed to play alongside them before in previous teams and really thoroughly enjoyed every experience that I've had playing with them. So played so much cricket against them that it is a really nice change to be on the same field as them. And to, you know, I love Catherine Brunt's passion on the field, and it's so much more enjoyable when you're actually sharing the field on her team rather than against her.
Recently, we know that Meg took a break from the cricket, and you've played with her for a very long time. That not many people can say that they've played it at the state level, WBBL, country level. You're one of those. So, what is like to play with Meg Lanning?
Well, it's really funny because like I just see Meg as my friend. I just see her as someone that I've grown up with. And yeah, someone that I sort of like, when you start sort of like reeling off the accolades and all that sort of stuff and just how good a cricketer she has been for a number of years, like I never sort of look at her like that. Like I only ever really see her as like this amazing friend that I've, you know, been privileged to be able to play alongside for so many years, but also share so many great memories off the field as well. And I guess that, you know, not many people get to know the real Meg Lanning, and I would say that, you know, I'm one of those lucky people that, you know, really do get to know her as a person. And yeah, just incredibly proud of everything that she's achieved, and also just really proud of her for taking this break and for recognizing that it's something that she needs to do. And, you know, I can only imagine how difficult that would have been, a decision for her to make. And yeah, just, you know, really excited to see, you know, what's next for her and whether she comes back or not, but just, you know, really excited knowing that she's making the best decisions for herself at this time.
Is there that feeling somewhere that you're doing everything in your hand and now that one day you'll get back to play in green and gold?
Yeah, like I guess like, you know, in the last couple of years I've spent like less time worrying about all that stuff because I can't control it. And I've actually just, you know, become really happy within myself. I feel like I've proved to myself that, you know, I am good enough. That doesn't mean that I'll get selected, and I've come to terms with that. So it's actually not about, you know, ever playing for Australia again or anything like that, because, you know, I think the most important thing is that I've got confidence in my own game, and I've managed to